Hello all. Well, this week you'll be preparing for your presentations, and I thought I'd do a kind of a run through of tips on how to present, which I'm probably going to break doing this actual podcast itself. But I guess it's a case of listening to what I say, do what I say, not what I do. I guess the first tip I've got is to be entertaining. To remember that you are there to communicate an idea. That's not like acting a clown, but it's about just really enjoying being there, showing the client, the audience, that you actually want to be there to speak to them. Slow down, which is one I tend to need to remember. It's about speaking from the tummy rather than from the chest, and I often record myself before an important presentation and speak so slowly that it feels that something's wrong. And when I play it back, I realise actually that's probably the right speed. Some of you will have the same problem as me, but it's a useful one to remember. Eye contact. People often ask me where they need to look when they're doing a presentation, and that is everywhere. Look at everyone, make everyone feel important, try and spread your eyes around the room. Some of you who are more nervous might find it easy to look over the heads of the immediate people and look out into some kind of distance, but try not to do that so much that you look like you're somewhere else. Try and do a 15-word summary in your head before the presentation. You need to really summarise in your head the points you want to get across, because people have to take those thoughts away with them, and we can't remember that much. And also, there's a danger of reading out. I've done that in the past. In fact, I'm doing it a little bit now. And when you're trying to read something out, what you'll find is that you're too busy trying to think about the next word. And a really good tip is to just try and talk with a few points in your head. And if you get lost about halfway through and you've forgotten something, don't go back to the beginning again and start again. What you've got to do is get to the end. And what I mean by that is, if you're working your way through a map trying to get through a street and you take a wrong turning, you don't tend to back up on yourself. What you tend to do is keep going and find your way back in. And if you can keep doing that through the speech, if you visualise what the end's going to be and these key points are, then if you do stray a little bit and come back when you're rehearsing it, you'll get used to catching yourself up. Because I promise you, if you try and find words on a sheet, then you're going to get thrown all the time. Speech is about stories. You want to tell a story. In this case, with the client, you want to tell a story of why somebody would want to come to Margate and how these images are going to bring that story about in their clients. Project your voice. Speak clearly and loudly. Don't talk to your PowerPoint if you're using a PowerPoint. Talk to the audience. Try again, speak from your tummy and project. And don't kind of speak from your chest high up in your throat and all closed in on yourself. One thing that I've seen, actually, that I've made a note here is don't plan gestures. I've seen a lot of people who seem to have watched politicians talk and they plan their gesture. Gestures that are planned are false, because your body language will be saying one thing and your hands are saying another. And there's a bit of a mismatch there. It doesn't really work. You will be questioned. If you are questioned and you're nervous about it, just say, well, that's a very good question. It extends itself to other pauses as well. Instead of going, I don't know, well, yes, those kind of pauses that make you look a bit stumbly, much better to take a deep breath and a pause. They'll just see it as you're considering the question. So if someone says, why do you think that'll work? You can go, that's a good question. I guess my answer would be, and it's giving you time to think about it. Come early. It's going to be difficult for you guys because it's not going to be a big presentation for 20 minutes. You've got 5 minutes and a minute before to prepare. But what I mean by that generally is be ready. Have your pen drive ready. Be ready to put everything in. All your visuals are ready. All your notes ready to go. So when you stand up and you talk, you're prepared. Put yourself in the audience's position. What does the audience want to hear? What does the client want to hear? They don't want to see a long drawn out opinion from you. They want to know what their clients are going to see. They want to know that you connect with them, that you understand them, you understand their story and their background. And lastly, have fun. It sounds difficult, but enjoy it. Again, it's not like acting a buffoon, but just simply have fun. If you feel like you're enjoying being there, you'll enjoy it more. If you visualise before the meeting the presentation it going well, and you visualize like the applause at the end and the client going well done and me going well done and your peers going well done, and you enjoy the process of it, and just realize that if you do a bad presentation, if there is such a thing, that no one's going to die. You know, you might feel yourself going red and hot, you may feel yourself becoming embarrassed, but I promise no one else will notice that. Those long pauses where you think you've forgotten something that seem like minutes have passed will be seconds to us. So people really do get themselves worked up over presentations. They are important, but they're not as difficult as people make them. I'll go through some of this in the class, in the session. And we can do one-to-one stuff if you want as well, and you'll have a week to kind of prepare and practice a bit. All right, well, good luck with them, and just again, you know, get an appointment through Viv and talk to me if you want to rehearse some form of your presentation or discuss some of your ideas.